What's going on, everybody? Wins and losses number 12, the gang back together. Titus, Marge, Jeff, myself, Jackson. I think we got a good one for you. We got a couple of good topics. Starting off with an unfortunate topic, but Nikola Jokic has been ruled out for the Nuggets. He went down on December 29th against the Miami Heat. Unfortunate. I don't know if you guys saw it. Unfortunately, we can't show the video, but he was playing defense, kind of stepped back. One of his teammates stepped on his left foot. He went down with an injury. The team later announced he had a left knee hyperextension, and the team said that he would be reevaluated in a month. That's going to be right around the end of January. Prior to the injury, he was averaging a triple-double, guys, and that's really what hurts. I know, Titus, you're going to kind of get into that, but he was averaging 32 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. And the most important thing, he was the favorite to win the MVP. I think that's the hardest part besides losing your best player. That's probably the hardest part for Nuggets fans, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, he was definitely balling this last month. Had a great couple of games. His last stretch, I think, was 32, 11, and 12, something like that. I could be wrong with the stats. But, yeah, Nikola Jokic is probably going to miss out on the MVP, rightfully, as well as, Wembanyama and losing track on somebody else, Giannis Antetokounmpo, because of this new rule that Adam Silver had put in place, 65-game minimum you have to play, which I think that's going to get looked into this offseason, and they might get that out the way just to find another way to get players to play. Real quick, the people I do blame for this rule is Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Ben Simmons, because you guys didn't want to play, and this is what we had to do to get you guys to play, and now Jokic has to suffer for it.
You mean professional fisher Ben Simmons?
Yeah, you want to call him that. Bassman, Simmons,
Ben Simmons,
whatever.
Bass Pro Master.
But yeah, like Nikola Jokic is out, man, and it's going to be tough for the Nuggets for this stretch this next month, because they were second, I believe, in the West, and they're not from their record, the track record when Nikola Jokic is out, they play below 500. I think there's a graphic up there, if we can find it, of Nikola Jokic's, the Denver Nuggets' wins and loss record when he's not on the floor. And this year, so far, they're 1-2. They just lost a game today to the Brooklyn Nets. But you can see how hard they have to work to get wins, to get buckets. Jamal Murray's playing as well as he can. He had 17 assists this year. I didn't know he could have that in his bag. But yeah, it's going to be a tough 4 weeks for them, and hopefully, Nikola Jokic can get back to healthy sooner than later, because, I remember when Giannis Antetokounmpo had this similar injury in the playoffs, it looked pretty bad, and he got back on the floor in about a game or two, but he's a Greek freak for a reason. Nikola Jokic is a different type of specimen. But hopefully, because he's not an athletic big, it won't be that big of an issue for him. But, yeah, it's a big loss for the Nuggets right now.
I mean, it's a big loss, and also, like, the game after they lost Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets, their backup center, Jonas Valanciunas, also went down with an injury, so they're not playing with a big man right now. I mean, they're playing with a big man, sure, and Day'Ron Holmes. Sorry, I forgot the first name wrong.
Oh, you're good.
But they're playing with him, but he's not the type of player that Nikola Jokic and even at one point Jonas Valanciunas is.
No one is. One is. That's to cut you off, but this is why I put Jokic in that rare category where he's creeping on top 10 all time because of his value on the team and what he's been able to do for the past his half decade. I think there's a stat out there that said he leads in all four main categories for this decade, and that speaks to itself of how great he's been, not just as a team player, but as one of the all-time greats.
Right, and I mean, they kind of caught a break with it just being a hyperextended knee, right?
Yep.
It could have been a torn ACL. It could have been a much worse injury.
Season-ending.
A season ender, right? So there is a silver lining, a bright side to Nuggets basketball this year, is that it's not a torn ACL. It's just a hyperextension. Usually you're back within 4 to 6 weeks, and it's all good to go. But in those 4 to 6 weeks, I think the Nuggets are cooked. I think there's it's just the way it is. Like Titus said, they're 1-2 since the injury against the Nets team that they should be beating by a lot, right? And they lost to them today because that team lives and dies through Nikola Jokic. You saw it in the playoffs last year. If Nikola had an off night, the Nuggets cannot compete with the Thunder, and I don't think they'll be able to compete with the Thunder this year if Nikola Jokic is not on the floor, which hopefully he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. But until he gets back on the floor, I think the Nuggets are going to drop in the Western standings.
I mean, the early signs seem to be relatively positive. In fact, I think he was riding the bike the other day, a stationary bike, in the last week or so. So that's a good sign. At least he's doing some active things and stuff like that. I think if you're the Nuggets, you just have to go 400-ish in the time he's out. So if he's out for a month and you stay 400 and hopefully you find yourself right around 7, 8 heading into the All-Star break, and then when Jokic he'll be back before that, hopefully, and then you can kind of round out the year with him and get out of the play-in, and so you're ideally a 4 or 3 seed, but I think the Nuggets will be fine. I think it's enough time. We kind of talked about it before. Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon both kind of coming back from injuries as well, so it'll be good to have them back because there was a little while there. There was I think just one game, I guess, but 4 of the 5 starters were hurt for the Nuggets, so it's good to have them back as well. But I think stay afloat, and then as soon as Jokic gets back, it's go time for Denver.
Well, I think also when you hear like 4 to 6 weeks, like it doesn't sound like that long a time, but then when you break it down, like that's a lot of games. Like I don't know, like how many is that?
Oh, 16, 18 games.
Give or take, yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Good point, though. It's a lot of games that they're going to be missing. But I think this can also be a positive thing for the Nuggets because now, if I'm David Adelman, I have to now find another, 5-man that can be productive with my center off the floor. So this can be crucial for them come postseason time. If Jokic is, exerting so much energy, he can take breaks and now have another 5-man out there that can be productive. Like I said, I didn't know Jamal Murray could be this productive, assisting the ball. So now,
Yeah, but Jamal Murray's not playing 5. Let's be honest.
it's true.
Jamal Murray is not your 5 on the floor.
No, but I wasn't expecting, like the last 3 games, he's been, I think, averaging, or he's put up a total of like 30, 40 assists in the last 3 games.
Sure.
So he's really facilitating the ball, and that's something that Jokic did very well when he was on the floor. So you might have something if, Jamal Murray can be that point guard of a player and get Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Tim Hardaway Jr., and guys like that involved. So this is something that I can look at from a coaching perspective as a good thing going down the stretch because now I can see what I have here on the floor and what I can do in the postseason.
That's going to be even more positive in the postseason, I think, too, because you talk about, foul trouble can always be an issue. It's not necessarily a huge problem for Jokic, but also just having other options. If, he's cold one night, I don't think we've seen that this year, or really since he kind of exploded onto the scene. But I think, yeah, to your point, Titus, just another tool in David Adelman's belt going into the postseason. I think is huge for the Nuggets who, like you said, lost to the Thunder last year, and it seems like that's going to be the team to beat again this year. You got anything else on it, Jeff?
No, I'm good.
Well, I just think that's so. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just think that's so true. Like sometimes you have a star player, you overlook everything else that you have. So it is like very good to be able to see what else is there.
Yeah, I don't think we need to forget like Jamal Murray was a star in his own right before Jokic kind of fully arrived to be the best player in the NBA. But kind of moving into the NFL season, the playoff picture mostly decided. The NFC at least is the Seahawks. They're the 1 seed. The Packers, Jeff, they're taking on the Bears in a little in-season or a little divisional rivalry in the postseason.
Yes,
it's in
sir.
Chicago. 49ers head to Philly to play the Eagles, and the Rams play the Panthers, who get the last spot. Crazy 3-way tie in the NFC South. That was just wild. Maybe catch that later. My wins and losses, we'll see. And then the AFC, the Broncos go Denver, 1 seed. Patriots are playing the.
Yes,
Yeah, let's go,
Patriots.
baby. The Patriots are playing the Chargers in New England, Jags and Bills. And then Houston's the 5 seed. They'll play the winner of the game we have going on behind the cameras, the Steelers and the Ravens. Jeff, is there a matchup that sticks out to you?
I was gonna say you're not on pins and needles watching the Ravens Steelers.
Well, I'm
game
focused on the
right
show.
now,
I'm focused on
okay.
the show right now.
I was gonna say,
and
yeah,
so
no, if we hear, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers, that's not a good throw, we know what's happening.
the game is mostly blocked for me from my vantage point. So I'm hoping whenever we leave the set that I'll see Steelers 17, Ravens like -10 or something would be awesome.
10.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but
-10
we'll
is
see.
crazy. But no, I think that Packers Bears matchup is. I mean, this is a homer pick for me. I'm a Packer fan. We all know this. But they're 2 very good teams going up against each other. The Packers had to battle injuries all year. We played Clayton. I say we as if I was suited up for the Packers today. I could have been.
He's actually Matt LaFleur.
The Packers played Clayton Tune at quarterback today. Have you ever heard of Clayton Tune? Anybody out there, give me a Clayton Tune stat real quick. It's not happening. Jordan Love, he was cleared from concussion protocol. He didn't play in Week 18. Malik Willis was hurt, so they put in Clayton Tune, their 3rd string quarterback. I think they're getting back a lot of talent in the playoffs, and I think the first matchup with the Bears went the Packers' way. I think this one is also going to go the Packers' way. That's one that I'm looking forward to.
Titus, Marge. I know Marge is probably just waiting for Drake May to make his first playoff start.
I am. Yeah, I'm so excited. I think he's gonna rise to the occasion.
That's a lot of pressure on a young New England quarterback because they know what expectations come with that when you get to the postseason, especially the Patriots. You know, Tom Brady has set the standard in New England, so a lot of pressure for Drake May. But
He's
one
got
thing
it.
I hope so.
No problem.
Marge is a believer.
I'm a
You
Drake
guys
May
know that
believer.
Instagram account page, Drake May Lover?
Drake
It's
May,
me.
something like that.
It's March.
She's actually out there creating memes, just propaganda
Yeah,
for Patriots Nation.
He's just creating Drake May highlight reels. Why not?
Just throwing hearts
Oh,
around
man.
his feet.
But what I will say, though, I think this is a year for guys like, you know, say if Lamar Jackson can somehow make it to the playoff. Is he in the playoffs? AFC?
The AFC is going to come down to the game that's on the screens behind
now?
the cameras
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
So,
Winning you're in, pretty much. Whichever team wins this is in the playoffs.
okay,
Correct.
so let's say hypothetically Lamar Jackson does win this game and they make it to the postseason. Now there's no more of the narrative of Patrick Mahomes is in your way. So I'm talking to Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, guys that have had roadblocks in their way, aka the Chiefs. I think that puts a lot of pressure on them to now get it done because, like, if you lose to a team other than, say, Baltimore or a team that is competing at your level, then it's like I think that now devalues your name or your progress as a quarterback. So Josh Allen, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him to get it done. Same as Lamar Jackson. And as far as the team like the Broncos, man, played great all season. I think that defense really stepped up today. And Bo Nix is, I heard you guys said you don't think the Broncos are going to go far this, in this postseason run.
They're not.
But you never know. Like I said, it's going to get interesting as our producer just says, a Broncos fan. He told Jeff he's going to remember that. But it's going to get close, and I think the Broncos are one of those teams that it looks ugly. It looks, the first 3 quarters it may look ugly, but they get it done in the last couple of seconds or last quarter. So Bo Nix could definitely be that guy that can get them to the AFC West. I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but
The
he'll make it
AFC West,
interesting.
I mean, they won the AFC West. Good for them.
I mean,
But
AFC
no, they're not going to
Championship.
get. They're not going to
AFC
get past
Championship.
they're not going to get past the divisional round. Is what I'm saying. They got the bye. Good
They
for
got
them.
the bye.
They got the bye. I don't think they're going to get to the championship game, let alone the Super Bowl, because of all of those last second wins that they've had all year. Right?
I do. I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, sure. But if you're down 35 points, their largest comeback was 33, but that's against a Giants team that was not good this year, right? So if you're going to sit there and you're going to say that the Denver Broncos are the true number 1 seed and that the Denver Broncos are the true number 1 seed and that they're going to get to the Super Bowl, you've also got to take into account that in the majority of their games this year, they were trailing in the fourth quarter, right? If you're playing a playoff caliber team, that playoff caliber team is going to stick their foot on your throat and stamp down. And that's just how it's going to end up for the Broncos. They're going to be down 17 going into the fourth quarter, and then coming out of the fourth quarter, they're going to be down 24. Yeah, and sure, they were down against the Eagles and came back against the Eagles, but we've seen that the Eagles have flaws this year and that their flaws can be exploited, like Jalen Hurts not finding his first read and then running the ball. That's basic football knowledge, right?
I'll let Marge say what she had to say, and then I want to, respond to what you had to say.
Well, I just think that I think they're doing well. I think they're gonna make it. I think it's really good to be a fourth quarter team, honestly. Like, if you can come back at the end, like, that's a talent that other teams can't have. Like, when they're dying down, like, you're stepping up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the other team's getting tired, and think that's when you're showing up. I think that's good. I think they can do it. I don't think Bo Nix is the best quarterback out there,
See,
personally.
you had to ruin it. You were saying you was going so well, and then you ruined it with the Bo Nix slander.
Well,
Look at that. He was going so well.
Also,
I just don't think he's the most well-rounded one out there at all. I'm sorry.
Also, can
he
we
doesn't have
break-
the best arm? He does not the fastest.
can we break some news on this show? Raheem Morris is not the coach of the Falcons anymore.
I mean, are you surprised? I'm not really. I mean, the I
ESPN
feel like-
notification.
yeah.
Shout out ESPN.
Shout out ESPN.
But I will say this one thing. Let's say hypothetically the Broncos remain this fourth quarter team that comes back and wins games. And let's say Bo Nix gets them to the Super Bowl. What do you think the narrative is going to be? Is Bo Nix this great quarterback that comes up big in the clutch, or they're going to give the credit to the defense side of the ball and say, oh, the reason why they got there is because of defense?
Guess what? They got the
They're
3
gonna
seed.
say Bo Nix.
They got the 3 seed, the Jaguars, in that AFC playoff picture that they lost to, right? They've got the
But you
Chargers
gotta-
as
you
the
gotta-
7.
They're
They've
gonna
got the
give Bo
Chargers
Nix
as the
way too
7
much
Jeff, you have to
seed.
understand, when they lost to that Jaguars team, they were on an 11
They
game
lost
win
they have the
streak.
Chargers on this in this AFC playoff picture that they lost to,
Okay.
They have the Jaguars that they lost to.
The Chargers
They
have to win before they get to the Broncos.
Sure.
Okay.
So do the Jags.
So do the Jags.
So my point is I think we look at that loss to the Jaguars, they were probably out of gas. You talk about trying to keep up a win streak for 11 straight weeks. At some point you're going to overlook a team. You're not going to take a team serious. Not saying I'm speaking for Sean Payton and that defensive side of the ball, but
You're not going to take a 10-win Jaguar team seriously?
it's when you're winning 11 games, it's like we'll get it. We'll find a way to get it done. Like we'll at some point we're going to find our way. It just didn't happen in that game. So now you come into the game where you may face a Jaguars team. I'm locked in defensively, like how they were tonight. I mean, today. I feel like the defense really stepped up.
They were playing Trey Lance.
I don't care who you put in there. It doesn't
They
matter.
were playing Trey Lance, dude.
I don't care. It's all about the mindset. And I think when number one pick Trey Lance as well, but it's more about the mindset. And I think the Broncos, they fell off a little bit in these last couple of weeks, and now they're starting to find that rhythm again, their identity once again. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm not saying Bo Nix is gonna put up these ridiculous numbers, but I expect the Broncos to go far in these playoffs.
I don't think they will.
Okay.
See, the old saying is defense can win championships, but in today's NFL, you need a good defense and you need a serviceable offense, right? If your offense is throwing checkdowns and screens every single play, that's not a sustainable offense. I'm sorry. You've got to mix in a run. You've got to mix in the middle to deep passes. You've got to keep the defense on their toes. If you're Sean Payton and you're throwing a check down and a screen every other play, defenses know how to read that. They watch film. So here's the thing, right? And this is what I was telling Titus. The Broncos have two opponents in this playoff field that they have lost to in season, right? The Jaguars, they look frisky. Chargers,
Frisky.
they look frisky. They look real frisky. The Jaguars are playing with house money, right? Nobody expected the Jaguars to be here this year.
Frisky.
And the Jaguars are looking really good going into these playoffs. The Broncos, on the other hand, after they lost to those Jaguars, have kind of sputtered. Yes, their defense is still elite, but that's just the Broncos' identity is a defensive team, right? So if you got Bo Nix playing at an MVP level, and then you beat the Chargers today by how much? Did they beat them by, what, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, about.
Okay, cool. They were playing against Trey Lance.
Level.
They beat the spread. Good for them. But still, I don't think the Broncos are going to go past the divisional round. As much as I'd love to see 2015 happen again with the Broncos and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, it's just not in the cards. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Jeff, let's just say the Broncos do win, right?
Sure.
I need you to come on the next episode and say, I was wrong. I will not talk bad about the Broncos.
I will. If the Broncos.
Those are the exact words I want you to hear.
After the Broncos,
Jeff, the certified
after the
hater.
Broncos win their, if the Broncos win their divisional playoff or matchup, I will write an apology and I will have a solo shot on this on this camera right here, reading my apology note with tears in my eyes, saying how sorry I am.
And that you are a hater.
How sorry I am for hating on the Broncos. But when they lose, I will say when they lose, I want you to do something.
Okay.
Now wait,
Pick your poison, whatever you want to
when
do.
you say when they lose what?
When they lose the divisional round matchup.
Okay.
What?
So their first playoff game.
Pick something.
What do you want me to pick?
Apologize to me.
I think you have to come up with
All
a
right.
Jeff.
Yeah,
All right. I'm actually kind of in agreement here with Jeff a little bit. I think that the Broncos have played with fire a lot this season. I have a little bit more faith in them than Jeff does, just because we brought up the last time they won the Super Bowl. It was a team that was very defensive oriented. I know Peyton Manning was the quarterback, but we can all admit he was kind of on the back nine of his career.
He retired after that.
He did retire after that, but regardless, he got to hold the Lombardi Trophy one way or the other. So I think the defense wins championships, and I think the offense can do enough. But one thing you kind of talked about, they have to be able to not just throw screen passes. I think the biggest thing is, can they actually run the ball against a defense like the Houston Texans? Because so far, that's kind of been one of the question marks, is some games Denver can run the ball and the offense looks a lot more explosive, and then some games not so much. And so that's my biggest concern for Denver going in is, can RJ Harvey really step up and be an elite running back, or a good running back at least, and help them run the ball to give Bo Nix an option outside of just throwing the ball.
And look, they're the 1 seed, right? So if miraculously the Chargers beat the Patriots and the 7 seed beats the
No.
2 seed. Thank you, Marge. But if the Chargers beat the Patriots, the second round matchup will be Broncos-Chargers, which we saw today, but it was Trey Lance at quarterback instead of Justin Herbert. They lost when they had Justin Herbert as their quarterback.
Okay. Can we go back and see what was the final score of that game?
They lost on a field goal.
Okay, so a very close game.
They lost.
It doesn't matter.
They lost.
It was a very close
They
game.
lost. A loss is a loss.
It was a very but it was a very close game. You acting like they got belt to
A
what?
loss is a loss,
Okay,
Titus. You've
but-
used that analogy with me so many times defending Shador Sanders.
Right.
A
but
loss is a loss.
They took the loss,
Right?
but you're making it seem like they can't. Like there's no way of beating the Chargers when they just barely lost. And it was like the second or first game of the season. They're still figuring out the offense. They have 18 games in their belt now. I'm pretty sure Sean Payton has put up a scheme to how to, make it tough for Herbert. Can we stop acting like the Chargers came in and just beat the brakes off of the Broncos? Because that didn't happen. So let's give it a fair, equal matchup, and let's just say the Broncos can win this game. They could also lose, but you're making it seem like they have no chance of winning
Well,
that game.
also-
Not to
I don't-
mention, you can get J.K. Dobbins back, and that could be a problem too. So
Also,
let's
to
pump the
Jeff's
brakes.
point, if a loss is a loss, the Broncos did just beat the Chargers today, so they're 1-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get a rubber match in the playoffs, and all of a sudden, one of those teams may be going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
And all of a sudden, the Chargers have back Amarian Hampton, which is one of the most electric rookies of the year.
He played in the first game though. He played in the first game.
He played in the first game, but still, the Chargers need, the Broncos need to figure out how to do everything on a football field. Let's get off this topic before I start yelling and screaming and
I'm like
fighting with
scared of you,
Titus.
Jeff.
All right. Well, when we talk about the NFL, one of the biggest names for so long we've talked a lot about New England is Tom Brady. And earlier this week, Marge sent us a screenshot of an Entertainment Tonight post. The caption said that Alex Earle rubbed Tom's back and then grabbed his bicep while whispering in his ear. And then the caption goes on to say the former Patriots quarterback then slides his arm around her waist. And if you remember back, I think it was last week, Marge did say that when we were talking about Braxton Berrios and Alex Earle, that the next in line would be Tom Brady. So Marge, I gotta give you a little bit of credit there.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was like, oh my God, I literally called this. It was crazy when I saw it. But also, like, they're not dating or anything. Like, everyone just saw them hanging out. So it's no big deal.
There's rumors. Like,
But-
the rumor mill is
It's
wild
not
right now.
it's not a big deal, but it was a big enough deal that Marge had to screenshot the post and send it to
And
us
entertain-
immediately.
That's just a crazy thing to call. Like, are you kidding me? I knew it.
You should have bet
I
that
just
on,
saw them together. I should have. That's I
should have
literally said that. I
placed
was like,
bets
I
on
should have
that
like
somewhere.
played a bet on that because I would have.
Marge is actually goated. Marge is goated, guys.
But-
Goated.
They just make sense. Alex Earle is just the goat, and so is he.
Whoa.
So they match
Okay.
up
Okay,
in my
question.
head
Okay.
Okay, the GOAT of what?
of life.
What
She's
has she
life.
achieved?
Dancing with the Stars. Oh,
What has she?
Yikes.
She almost won.
Almost won.
didn't even win?
Almost is only good in
didn't win?
horseshoes
Wait,
and hand
no.
She was
grenades.
second.
She
was
should have won. She should have won.
Almost is only good in horseshoes and hand
GOAT?
grenades.
Guys,
The
she
GOAT
should have won.
Robert Irwin
Hey,
won Dancing with the Stars, and you
not
gotta accept
rightfully
that.
so.
No, rightfully so.
Do you want to
Robert-
argue? Did you watch it?
Robert
Did you
Irwin?
watch the show?
Are you kidding me?
Did you
All right,
watch it?
This is getting off the rails. This is getting
I'm
off
sorry.
the
Did you
rails.
watch it, Jeff?
Yes, I did, and Robert Irwin deserved to win.
No,
it.
he didn't.
Yes, he
she
did.
improved so much from the beginning until the end. Like she was like, people thought she like looked like a pro.
Oh my gosh, so did Robert Irwin.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he
He
did.
kept doing his little jump and slide, and that
Sure.
was it. He was like,
That's his thing. That's his motif.
And then they were like incorporating animals in it and stuff, and like they were doing tricks. And then she was much more like dancey, like professional dancer. She should have won.
No, she shouldn't
If
have.
she should have, I'll
No.
say that. I'll ride to my grave for that.
I think as a fellow blonde in her 20s, Marge just can't look past Alex Earle and see that there are other people in the competition. I think that's the problem here.
You know what? I love her.
Also, legacy.
That's not the issue, though. I'm being dead serious. But I do love her. She's
Also,
like,
shout
perfect.
out Robert Irwin. His sister won Dancing with the Stars, and then he called his own shot and ended up winning it himself. So shout out Robert Irwin.
Man,
Yeah, I hate her. But
it's something, I just it's just funny to me how like she leaves one football player because apparently or
was too
allegedly she wasn't getting enough time, or it was just the schedule wasn't getting aligned with her schedule, and she goes to the most probably busiest football player of this generation who has a job covering for CBS, Fox, my bad.
Fox.
for Fox. I just find that interesting.
is a
It co-
minority
and a headline.
owner.
Yeah. So I just kind of feel like it wasn't
And he has
about
kids.
it wasn't about the football.
Like that was an excuse.
It wasn't about the
to break
football.
up
It was
with
more about
Braxton.
he's not big enough. He's not more mainstream enough. So I'm gonna go to someone else who is this world
I kinda
renowned
like this
star.
take.
Yeah, it's kinda
and
good.
who's this great football player, and I'll be looked at better because I'm with Tom Brady and not this guy. So that's just my opinion. I don't know the girl, but I just
Yeah.
find it interesting that you leave one football player for an even bigger football star.
I like this take out of Titus. I mean, I'm not. Well, obviously, I don't think none of us. Maybe Marge
don't
is, and we don't really
know.
know about it. None of us are really in with Alex Earle or Braxton Berrios, so kind of tough to say. But shout out her for
Yeah.
being around Tom
For
Brady.
rubbing his back,
Right time,
the
right
way,
place, right
the way it
time.
was worded is probably my favorite part
whispering
too.
in
of
his
just-
ear.
that's so good, so good. And then we'll talk about this one briefly.
We can go to our wins and
Yeah,
losses.
let's go.
All right. We'll go right to wins and losses. Titus, you want to kick us off? You look ready to go down there.
Oh man, win. I don't have a. I'm trying to find a win right now, but I'll go start with my loss. My loss is James Njai, the former pro basketball player who decided to I want to go back to college and play for Baylor University. And in his first game, he showed the reason why he's not in the NBA or that type of player. 17 minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Got booed the entire game. Was not well liked. So it just shows, one, is you're just going to hurt the sport, and two, like he kind of just showed his hand. Like I don't think he's ever getting back into the NBA or professional setting of that nature. My win. I don't have a watch on right now, but it would be Shador, baby, driving the winning drive to beat Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. I only say
We
this
have a
because
clip of how many times
Joe
Titus
Burrow.
Titus has put Shador as his winner just
I was
to
gonna
get
say, I was
just
gonna
to
say
rate it.
next year we might have to ban Titus.
No,
from
but I'm
picking
talking
that
about
as his
Shador.
winner.
you got.
No, he can talk about it.
I was
but-
gonna say something else.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I'm gonna be,
not done.
fair. I'm gonna be fair. Unlike Jeff, where he played great today. However, if you look at his entire 8 games that he played, I had to give a grade. I'd probably give it a C- or a D, just because he didn't look best at times. 1,400 passing yards, I think a couple touchdowns, 10 interceptions. If I'm a Browns fan, I'm not solely sure that that's my quarterback going forward. But hey, he gets more reps. We'll see what he looks like next year if the Browns do decide to give him those more opportunities.
Yeah, when more teams have tape on him, and it's harder to play against.
Or you have a coach that believes in him and actually lets him do what he has to do. But Marge,
Okay. My win is the Patriots winning today. I know I always say it. They're number 2, so that's awesome. And my loss is also Patriots related. Okay, chill out. That it's just sad that we have 2 players facing charges right now, but also that's a good thing for us because we have a star quarterback and a player facing a charge, which means we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Oh gosh.
Oh, did she just bring up Aaron Hernandez on the
Why is
podcast?
that where it went?
Did she just
Why is
drop
that
an
where
Aaron-
it went?
Okay. So my win of the week is the Arizona State University women's basketball team, who is 15-0 in 2025, and they are not ranked. So rake us, you cowards. Second off, my
Are you
loss.
undefeated and not ranked? That's crazy.
Exactly right.
That's
I don't get it. My loss, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What happened? Like you were shoo-in to win the NFC South, and then it just collapsed for you for some reason. I don't know what happened, but all you had to do was beat the lowly Carolina Panthers, who are 8-9. They're under 500 and they're making the playoffs over you. What happened? That's my loss for the week. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Figure it out.
That was
Wow,
mine. That was mine this week too. So I'll kind of just take
Intense.
4 seeds because I think whoever it is, if it's the Ravens or the Steelers, and I think the Panthers, I think they're both gonna. The Panthers especially, I think they're gonna get blown out in the first round of the playoffs. That'll be my loss because you kind of took mine from me. Yeah, but
Sorry.
yeah, you were 6-2 and then you lost, and then you went 2-7. What was that? But my win, Carolina sports, because Sebastian Aho scored his 300th goal. He's just the 5th Finnish player in NHL history to do so. So congrats, goodness gracious. Plays for the Carolina Hurricanes. And then also the Panthers. My buddy texted me this morning, Matt Regan, shout out my boy. He said the Panthers got hosed. There's a bunch of choice words in the text. Was telling me I'd need to go back and watch it. They got hosed by the refs, a bunch of terrible officiating. So Matt, if you're watching this, It's okay because the Panthers are in the playoffs. Shout out the Panthers. Shout out the Falcons for getting them there. Let's go, Carolina sports.
Let's shout out one more Cleveland Browns player, Mr. Myles Garrett. All-time sack record.
Yep.
Something that hasn't been done in a very long time. Just to see how one thing I will say, because Michael Strahan did talk about this. Basically, to have the drive to be, all into a game when you're not even in the lead and you're down a lot of games, that just shows Myles Garrett, discipline and just wants to be great. So I got to give a shout out to Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
He also did an 18-game season instead of a 17-game
Why
season.
ruin it, man?
Hey, it's all right.
See, the hater. Jeff's always the hater.
Wins and losses 12. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.